Okay, hello and welcome to the video. This video is entitled On the Christians and Their Lies. In this video, I'm going to be debunking the doctrine of original sin and also the doctrine that you're somehow saved by Jesus' death on a cross and just professing to believe that Jesus was God. Because in both Romans and Hebrews, Paul literally claimed that you could just call on the name of Jesus and that made you saved, even without, quote unquote, even without the good works of the law, which is an outrageous lie. All right, so let's start off by debunking salvation by faith. When you're in like the second or third grade and you do something exceptionally good, what happens? They put a gold star beside your name. All right, and when you do something really bad, you get a demerit. All right, you get enough demerits, you get sent to the principal's office and paddled, or used to get paddled. They don't do that anymore, or suspended. All right, you get enough merits by your name, and they take you out to dinner, a pizza party, or something like that. All right. So the way we judge children is the same way Ezekiel said God judges you. When you do something good, you get merits, and when you do something wrong, even Jesus said this, and I'm going to quote Jesus in just a minute. When you do something wrong and fail to, or even if you fail to bring forth good fruit, Jesus himself originally said, you will be cut down by God and the angels and cast into the fire of hell. Jesus said, a good tree cannot bear forth evil fruit, and an evil tree cannot bear forth good fruit. Every tree which fails to bring forth good fruit is cut down and cast into the fire, Jesus said. That's what is recorded of Jesus saying on that topic. Jesus didn't say, well, if you believe in me, you're going to be saved. As a matter of fact, he said just the opposite. He said, not everyone who says unto me, Lord, Lord, shall enter into the kingdom of heaven, comma, but he who doeth the will of the Father. All right. That's the two quotes that Jesus had on that topic of salvation by faith. And Paul comes along and says the exact opposite of Jesus and says, whosoever shall call upon the name of the Lord shall be saved. Not so, Paul. Jesus himself said the opposite of that. Not everyone who says unto me, Lord, Lord, shall enter into the kingdom of heaven, but he who doeth the will of the Father. So, the doctrine, the Christians undermine their own doctrine. James wrote his letter as a rebuttal to all of Paul's nonsense and said, not so. You're saved by your good works, not by faith, James said. He said, even the devil believes in God, and he's not saved. He's afraid of God. All right? So we just debunked salvation by faith out of Jesus and James' own mouths. All right? So you can take all of Paul's epistles and throw them away, with the possible exception of Galatians 5. All right, where he lists 20 some odd mortal sins and said that even if you do believe in Jesus, you still don't go to heaven if you commit those. But all right, so what's the other one I was going to debunk? The other one was original sin. This is a total lie. All right. In the book of Ezekiel, it says the fathers are not guilty of the sins of the sons, neither are the sons found guilty of the sins of the fathers. It says, the soul that sinneth, it shall die. All right. Original sin claims that everybody was born evil because of what Adam and Eve did, supposedly, which is a complete and utter trash lie. All right. A baby cannot break the first or second commandment. It doesn't even know what an idol is. A baby cannot take the name of the Lord in vain. It doesn't even know how to phrase such a sentence. A baby can't violate the Sabbath, especially an unborn baby. It can't dishonor its father or mother, especially an unborn one. It can't commit adultery. It can't murder somebody. It can't steal. It's still in the womb, right? It can't, covet. And it can't bear false witness against its neighbor. So that's 10 of the 10 commandments that it cannot break because it doesn't even know how to break them yet. All right. So the fact of the matter is, evil is actually a learned behavior, and in some cases, it's a trained and taught behavior. Your parents teach you things that are wrong and demand that you commit wrong acts sometimes. Your parents, when they used to spank kids, your parents would blame you for a lie that you never told and beat the hell out of you, or blame you for failing French class when neither of them could speak regular English, much less French, and beat the hell out of you for it. I know how that works. Believe me, I've been there. All right. So The child is not at fault for being ignorant of the truth, nor is the child at fault for being ignorant of learning a foreign language or something like that. All right. Especially when the foreign language teacher couldn't speak English. You know, it was like that. So a child is, matter of fact, you got in the book of Jeremiah claims that not only was Jeremiah not born sinful, that he was already anointed and called as a prophet in his mother's womb before he was even born, which again totally debunks original sin, because in the New Testament makes the same claim about John Baptist, because they had to also make the claim that John Baptist was the second coming of Elijah, which is a lie. But but the New Testament tried to claim that John Baptist was the same way, that he was born as a prophet to begin with. And it's a lie. He never prophesied one word that came to pass, and he never performed a miracle, which the New Testament even admits. So it was all a lie. All right. So proof that original sin is wrong is Jeremiah 1:1-6. Jeremiah was, according to the text, called and anointed to be a prophet from before he was formed in his mother's womb. All right. So he was already anointed. If he was originally sinful, he would have to be saved first before he could be anointed, right? Which is nonsense, because how do you need salvation if you haven't even committed a sin yet? So, and one more time, we can quote Samuel saying, obedience is greater than sacrifice. So anyone who claims that they could not obey God because they didn't know how to obey God is a liar, such as Jimmy Swaggart, claiming that he had to have a special revelation to obey God. You are given a free will, free moral agency, and you have a choice every single time you go to sin. You have a choice to either obey God or obey your sinful nature, all right, that you created on your own. You weren't born as a sinner. That is a lie. You were born totally righteous. Everything that God creates is good. And that's the end of the video.